Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Yes, we know what exactly the price of silver and gold will be in 2024. But before we look into that prognostication, let's take a look about what is going to happen to silver and gold in 2020. This is an article that was sent to me by Silver Honda from Seeking Alpha that talks about silver mainly, but also touches on gold and its action in 2020. It is quite an interesting journey that we've seen silver and gold take through the year. A lot of things happen. I'm going to touch on especially what occurred in 2019 in terms of indictments, guilty pleas, convictions with regards to precious metals manipulation, and how a move above a certain number, $21.10 at least, could cause a stampede. And we are reminded about what silver especially has done at its peaks, $50.36 in 1980, which is in terms of inflation adjusted, it's I've heard some numbers between $118 to well over $200 adjusted for inflation, and then almost $50 an ounce in 2011. And then for a long period of time, we never saw silver trade up above $10 from 1985 through 2005. We're in a period where silver's essentially been languishing. However, it has been more volatile nowadays than it has been before through its other period of slow growth, so to speak. And silver reached a high that was only 54 cents below its record high in 2011, with the correction took the silver market to a low of $13.63 in late 2015. Many of us remember that time, and it really hit many of us hard, thinking that silver was never would get down a certain level like that again. The floors for silver have been certainly been broken many times, for many of us thinking that it was going to have a new level of resistance, but it has continued to drop during that period of time. But then the Brexit referendum came in 2016, and it caused speculative buying to lift silver to $21. And that was another anomaly, really, so to speak. It was just a smaller version, but for different reasons, obviously, for what we saw in 2011. And it sort of continues to stand as that technical resistance and target for the precious metal. Even though gold broke out above its 2016 peak in 2019, silver could only manage to rally to $19.54 on the continuous futures contract. So as we move into a new decade, silver looks positioned to trade above $20 per ounce in 2020. Silver mining stocks tend to outperform silver during bullish periods. At the end of 2019, silver mining stocks could be telling us that the price of the metal is heading for $20 at the start of the new decade. We shall see. 2019 lit that fuse, and this talks about the technical analysis of where it was. But I want to look at this and kind of reflect back about the convictions, guilty pleas, and indictments that we will see in 2020 based off of the investigations that are continuing. Many market participants believe that the silver market is manipulated by a cabal of banks and governments who work to hold the price of the precious metal down. The author is not all that convinced that there is an overwhelming conspiracy to depress the price of silver or gold. I'm glad he said that, because I totally agree with that. Obviously, there is some indication that it's happening, but not an overwhelming conspiracy. Meanwhile, 2019 was a year where ubiquitous price manipulation in silver resulted in more than a handful of indictments. High-level, top-level indictments. Traders and sales professionals from J.P. Morgan, Deutsche Bank, and other institutions and funds took perp walks in 2019. The U.S. Department of Justice lowered the boom with RICO and racketeering laws and the like, and additional charges related to spoofing and other manipulative activities in the silver, gold, and other futures markets. For those who aren't aware, spoofing is where you create these buys and then you retract them very quickly. It's kind of a false buy situation. While some of those charged did plead guilty, others continue to proclaim innocence and should face trials in 2020. The Department of Justice and CFTC investigations are ongoing. The prosecutors have had those charged under the hot lights to extract information that would lead to higher level offenders. I've already seen some of that. We're likely to see more charges in 2020 of conspirators who held more senior management positions at the banks, institutions, and funds. We will continue to cover those as those make news. Spoofing, manipulation, and conspiracies between traders and sales professionals are illegal, immoral, and unethical behavior. We could see the institutions themselves in hot water for not supervising employees, or worse yet, for condoning and encouraging their behavior in the interest of profits. But we have to keep a balanced view on that kind of thing. Yes, we should stop this, but just because we see it happen in these cases doesn't mean it's happening in all cases and everywhere. And the author cautions that he doesn't think that it will lead to a vast conspiracy that will reveal operation to hold down the prices of silver and gold. Many of the indictments and charges show that illegal behavior was on both the buy and sell sides of the future markets. That's important to know. So it's not only and I think that's the thing, and it's not necessarily to suppress. It could go the other way around too. It could be falsely rising the prices for certain cases. Time will tell if they succeed in the precious metal markets in 2020. One thing that looks certain is that the indictments will keep on coming over future months. Now, this is the place where how gold is going to lead the way, and I do believe that is probably one of the primary drivers of silver's momentum upwards to some extent, at least while it's under that $21 an ounce. When it comes to the path of least resistance of this price of silver, gold should continue to lead the way. While silver did not break out above its July 2016 high, gold left that technical level in the dust starting in June. The monthly chart shows that gold broke above technical resistance at $1377.50 per ounce in June and never challenged that level again in 2019. After reaching a peak of $1,559.80 in early September, gold corrected and consolidated, but the price never traded below $1,446.26 or 20 cents. At over $1,550 at the end of last week, the yellow metal that led the silver market in 2019 remained in bullish mode and was flirting with the 2019 high. At the same time, the total number of open, long, and short positions in the gold futures arena rose to a new record level at 786,749 contracts on January 2nd. Below the technical break in June, the highest level of metric reached in 2016 was below 625,000 contracts. You can see it there. Very interesting indeed. Moving ahead here, silver mining stocks have reached a low of $16.56 on December 9th, which was the lowest level since early in December. The daily chart illustrates that March futures made a steady pattern of lower highs. The lower lows and the September 4th high that led to the $16.56 low. The price of silver moved progressively lower through September, October, November, and into early December. Meanwhile, shares of the junior silver ETF stopped its decline in mid-October at $9.12 per share. On October 15th, the SILJ reached at nadir. March silver futures traded a low of $17.51 per share. At $17.92 on December 31st, the silver futures were 2.32% higher. So it's very interesting to see how the junior mining shares often outperform silver on the upside, and the price action can be harbinger of things to come in the futures market. And so, yeah, it's something to certainly consider, but there's a lot of other factors as well. But that is interesting to see where the mining stocks go. With that being said, the critical level to watch in the silver market in 2020 is the July 2016 high of $21 and essentially 10 cents per ounce. If silver manages to climb above that price, it could ignite a significant rally in the precious metal. Silver moves higher and lower with the market sentiment, and it is the precious metal that tends to attract the widest audience of trend following the speculative interest when a significant trend gets underway. I think it is a magical number in that regard, but I don't know if really there's much other reasoning why that could be the case, why that number will stand out. I think the only way to really tell is if we see a continued sustainable increase in silver price and a narrowing of the gold to silver ratio. I think that's important too to keep in mind. If we see that ratio narrow, even if just a little bit, for a sustained period of time, when you start to see excitement in the physical precious metal of silver, and the demand for that to increase as, quote, investment silver. Coins, rounds, and bars, physical silver being stacked essentially by folks like you and me and new folks coming on board. I think that's when you're going to see silver have a sustained growth and continue to be strong in that position and narrow that ratio. The author would be a buyer of silver if any price dips to add to long positions in the metal, futures, and mining shares. 2020 is likely to be a year of pain for many of the silver traders and sales executives that choose to walk on the wrong side of the law. However, after a period of price consolidation since early September, the metal looks poised to challenge its critical technical level on the upside. The action in junior silver mining stocks could be telling us that higher prices are coming sooner rather than later. Yes, and again, I would caution that yes, those indicators and technical analysis indicators certainly could be, but the jury's still out. I don't take much stock in it. With that being said, we're going to take a look at the price forecast based off of this website, longforecast.com, which was sent to me by CU1972 Pilot Dude. Very interesting indeed. And before we look into this, because this is very specific, we got to look at some of their reasoning, their methodology behind this. I never heard of this website before, but it's called longforecast.com. We'll look at what it is actually telling us and what's missing from this website, which I think is crucial. The Economy Forecast Agency is specialized in long-range financial market forecasts for corporate clients. We use reliable models for long-term forecasting crude oil prices and precious metal prices, FX rates, interbank interest rates, stock indices, and some other macroeconomic indicators. The horizons and forecasts are 5, 10, and 15 years. Long-term investments need accurate forecasts of economy development indicators. The Economy Forecast Agency is independent from many banks, funds, and other market players. We provide with original forecasts based on our unique methodology, which is that their specialists use mathematical and statistical methods of prediction based on the existing historical data. They take into account the following factors with varying degrees of importance: cyclic recurrence, knowing correlation of market indicators, changes in the availability and attractiveness of the instrument for speculators, electronic and algorithmic trading growth, regulatory intervention degree, and frequency of significant events over time. Of course, that very last one is like a it's essentially means that anything could happen that could change, that could throw off all the thing, a black swan event. But with that being said, it is very interesting, and all the bases they cover could be tweaked any which way, but obviously they do this for clients. And so this long-term forecast is very specific. It's the most specific I've ever seen for such a far-reaching period of time. And we're going to look at this, but before we do, I want to address what is missing, at least what I've not been able to find. It might be there, but I've not been able to find it on this website, is its track record. And, it tells us what's happening, it's going to happen in the future, but what is its track record for the past? How long has this website been in existence? I don't know. I've only taken a deep dive, but I've not seen any links that tells us how close it's been over the last 5 years, or even 2 years, or even last year. But anyways, very interesting indeed. With that being said, let's take a look at their price forecast for 2020, 21, 22, and 23 per ounce. They also do it per gram. We're not worried about that really. But the mortgage, but here we have the silver price forecast for the years. Now look how specific this is. Very interesting indeed. Now, the close of the month of January for 2020 is very bullish on silver. $19.34 is what I think it's going to be. And, if tensions keep rising with Iran, that very well could be the case. And the close of February will reach $20, but then in March, it'll go up above that $21.10 forecasted or talked about in the prior article from Seeking Alpha. Very interesting indeed. And then it did say that for the year 2020, that at the close of each month here, we see that the price doesn't, except for June, the price stays comfortably above that $21.10 level every single month. And by the way, June, it is over $20. So this particular website is saying that it's going to be above $20 in 2020, starting in February through the end of the year. And in fact, we can see that it will be above $20 for all of 2021, and only in 2022 will we see it dip back down into the high 19s. Very specific here, these are. This is fascinating indeed, how they take these algorithms and plug them in with these down to the penny prices. I think in some ways it's kind of interesting and fascinating how they can do that, but I do believe they need a rounding error, because there's no way these can be that accurate. But it is fascinating to see where this goes. Now in 2023, we're going to see a dip back down of the silver. Silver price will go back down to $18, but nonetheless, all these prices are still higher than where silver is now. It was once said by part-time preppers and others that anything below $20 is a bargain for silver. And I think that based off of these prices we're looking at for the next, 5 years here is an indicator that could be the case here. So by January of 2024, silver will open at $22.13. Very fascinating indeed to see. And then, of course, it'll dip back down. But, that's not unrealistic, though, in my opinion, for silver to see. All these numbers seem very likely to me, for sure. So, and obviously with all the other things that they're predicting here, including cryptocurrencies, it's very fascinating to see how these numbers pull out based off the factors that indicated that I explained here in their introduction. Now let's take a look at gold, because I think we're going to be very shocked in some ways to see where gold is going to go, and how it's going to perform so much better than silver, in spite of some people saying that it's going to be the other way around. We're going to see the ratio widen here. So here we see silver and opening up here at the low 1500s, and then by the end of this month, it's already going to shoot up to over $1,600 an ounce. And by the way, here looking at, it's going to go through the end of the year, it's going to close at over $2,000 an ounce for gold. A very bullish prediction, I feel. Amazing. And then into 2021, we're going to see it flirt with be pretty volatile, just below 2,000 at a low here of 1956, and then over 2,000 again. So $2,000 might be the new norm, the new average as we go through here heading into even 2022. The price of gold will be going up to that level here. 2023, even higher, well over $2,000 on a continuing basis for 2023, save for May of that year when it'll go just below. Fascinating to see these numbers here. And then we will see, silver by the end of January 2024 at $2,353. Very bullish predictions in my view. Fascinating how those same algorithms that they use for silver tell quite a different story for gold. So there you have it, folks. Now, I look at these types of things. I don't take them incredibly serious. It's fun to kind of see what people are saying about it, but I don't hold much stock into it. I accumulate as I can, no matter what really the price is, based off of my budget. These could be completely wrong, or they could be fairly accurate. We'll find out. Either way, I always tell folks, no matter what people say the price is going to be in any coming year or what have you, the best thing to do is just stack at your own pace and understand the purpose of what silver and gold are for. That is to preserve your wealth over the long haul, over the long term. You should never buy based off of what some prediction is going to be from me or anybody else. It's just fun to kind of talk about and see what's behind some of these predictions. And this particular website talks about that in their introduction, but I would like to see what their track record has been in the past. Be very curious to see that. Anyways, post your thoughts below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude y'all for watching. Thanks again to Silver Honda and Pilot Dude for sending me this information, and would like to encourage you guys to keep coming back, because I do post videos on a daily basis, but many of you aren't getting notifications. And extend a multitude of gratitude to you all, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.